Good. All right, let's get this show on the road and we'll just roll with it and see what happens. So, Sonia, welcome.
Thank you.
Now, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, about, your background, what you've been doing, all that sort of thing, so we can get to know you a little bit better?
Okay. So I guess my background originally started in science. I was studying applied science. I was studying psychology and earth science. And I just felt like psychology wasn't, as much as I loved it, I just felt it wasn't really getting real results enough for what I was wanting to do for people. And that was like in my early 20s. And I found that I had this natural ability to tune into people. And I loved taking people through guided meditations, and it was just very effortless for me. I was working in hair salon and I'd just be people's hair and going, just imagine that you're sitting by a stream, and it would just come.
Yeah.
And people would say they felt amazing after. Just, I know everybody feels amazing when they go to the hair salon generally, but and I discovered Reiki. I discovered that kind of was what I was doing innately, because I'd be feeling other people's energy and then thinking, okay, I can take it and I can release it from myself.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the healing side of it. And I do Reiki 1, 2, Reiki Master, and then went on to do NLP, psychosomatic holistic counseling, various other modalities and practices, hypnotherapy. And with all of that, I was finding that it was really important to set people up first and get them connected to their self, come home to self, and get them connected to their inner securities.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I find that that's kind of where I always start whenever I have someone new that I'm working with. Yeah.
No, that's fair enough. I have to excuse the phone in the background. Things are always going off here. That's really interesting how, you kind of went from applied science to being in a hair salon. You kind of picked up the need of what people needed. And, I think that's really, really awesome. So
from when
today,
I was, sorry to interrupt.
no, that's okay.
Really important. Like from when I was little, and I was very religious as a little girl. My idea of religion is different now. But I used to pray and I used to say, please God, make all the sad people happy and all the sick people better, and all the angry people happy. And it's kind of like that's what I do now.
Yeah. That's actually really sweet. That's really, really sweet that that's what you've always wanted to do. It's like a calling almost, like you're meant to do this.
Yeah, it's not something that I went, okay, I want to learn that and I'm going to do that. It was never just kind of, fell into it.
No, it's lovely. Now, today you're going to be doing two things with us today. So the first topic you're going to look at is self-love, and then we're going to have a look at how to beat the afternoon slump. And let me tell you, it happens to me every single day. I get to like 3 p.m. and I'm like, oh my goodness, how the hell am I going to make it through the day? It happens. And you know what? I reckon it happens to absolutely everyone.
I wouldn't say everyone, but yeah, I think the majority of the population well, I can only speak for locally. Most, I mean, it's one of the first things that I ask clients, because I just think it's a really handy, useful little exercise to turn to, I guess. And we sort of, given that it's Valentine's Day,
Of course.
love day and open love day, which really, we should be in that space as much as we can be every day. Doesn't have to be all the sort of commercial hoo-ha. But yeah, that self-love, that self-acceptance, really, again, it's an awareness of self and connection to self. Yeah, so I do have like a little mini guided meditation that I can do.
Yeah.
Yeah. You seem excited. You want to like just get right.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. So I think everybody needs a bit of self-love at the moment. Not just because it's Valentine's Day. I'm not just saying that. There's a lot of stressed out people out there who are really unsure of what direction to take, what's going on, all that sort of stuff, and they need to think about themselves and, I guess, love themselves in a way before they can understand the rest of what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. And I think I'm hearing you say love themselves, and when I hear the word love, and I encourage everyone to use their filter always. It's, whenever anybody talks about what their theories are, I think it's important to have your own beliefs, and if it aligns with you, it does, and if it doesn't, let it go. So for me, I've come to a place where love is acceptance, and how I see that, or how I've come to that, is, you look at people in relationship, particularly people who've been in relationship for a long time, these old couples, they accept each other.
Yeah.
That, all their quirks and all their everything, and even though they might be irritated by each other now and then, there is acceptance. And it seems that when we disconnect from that feeling of acceptance, when we lose the feeling of acceptance, we tend to lose ourselves.
Yeah.
So seems like it's gone all quiet.
Yeah. So when you say that we lose ourselves, how do we find ourselves? If we're completely lost, what's your advice in finding yourself?
Just bring your hand to your heart
Yeah.
to start with.
Yeah.
Yeah, just by putting your hand to your heart. And they've done research on this, and I'm going to credit Greg Braden and Joe Dispenza on this one, and the Heart Math Institute. So they know, and we know, that we have neurons in our brain, but it's been discovered that we have neurons in our heart, which they're called neurites. And particularly Greg Braden has done a lot of exploring of various cultures all over the world. And it's something that is kind of a common thread across cultures. In some way, shape or form, everybody is either consciously or unconsciously putting attention to this part of self. When we pray, namaste, although my namaste is probably there and there, Even in kind of the Middle Eastern cultures, they're doing this, and in the indigenous, there's just this common thread. And what's really happening is people are connecting to self. And when you're connected to self, then you can connect comfortably and confidently with others. So I'm going to start with a little exercise of, I'll take you through the steps.
Yeah.
And then together.
Okay.
So we our fingers or hand to heart center. I know most people heart left.
Yeah.
You feel connected for your heart.
So it can be anywhere. Is that what you're saying? Whatever makes you feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you feel like connection to your heart is the top of your hand, go for it. You know, each to their own.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You do you.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. So what we're going to be doing is you can either tap, and the key here is gentle and slow. And this is a really good one, I find, to settle nerves and to settle anxiety. Yeah, it's really good to reset the nervous system and the circulatory system, the respiratory system, so the oxygen going through the blood, breathing, because it brings you back into your healthy heart rate and rhythm.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to count from 1 to 8, and if you don't want to tap, you can just let your hand just be resting.
Yeah.
As long as there's...
What was that? Sorry, you just cut out on me.
As long as there is that connection.
All right. Yeah.
So I will count. It's, if you're comfortable to close your eyes, close your eyes. When I reach 8, just let your hand drop. And you may find that the first time, because when we introduce our body to something for the first time, sometimes we feel nothing, and that's okay. But I encourage that when I reach 8, take a deeper breath. And if it doesn't feel flowing for you to do that, don't do it.
Okay. This is so interesting. I'm going to keep my eyes open and everything just so I can see if people pop up or any questions or anything. So I'll do my best to follow with keeping an eye on what's going on as well.
Yep. All right.
Yeah.
Ready?
I'm ready. So put my hand here. Is that okay? Wherever it goes?
Yeah.
It's going here.
I'm going to start.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And just let the hand drop. Feeling it different?
It's good. Yeah, I feel very relaxed. So I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. Yeah.
So it's a good one to do when you're feeling overwhelmed, when you need a reset. It's kind of linked to the afternoon slump thing.
Yeah.
And it is linked to coming back to yourself, reconnecting to yourself. I'll ask you that question, like, do you feel different to how you felt before we did that in relation to yourself?
Yeah, see, like just me just doing that now, I feel a lot more relaxed. You know, prior to coming here, I've been busy working this morning, believe it or not. So I've been up since about 6 a.m. dealing with emails and all sorts of things that I deal with on a day-to-day basis. And yeah, I was feeling a little bit tired and a little bit, thinking what I've got to do next. But that was a really good exercise to, I guess, center myself and to relax myself and clear my brain in a way, clear my mind, which is very important in this day and age.
Yeah.
Mm.
So now that might not be something that you necessarily, in terms of the tapping side of it, in public, you're not really going to do that. But you can just let your hands sit in your own self, even if you're out in public in an office, whatever. You can just quietly to yourself count from 1 to 8. But there's another one that is much less obvious
Okay.
if you're amongst people.
Yeah.
And this does the same thing. And also what it does is it helps to reset the biochemistry as well. So it encourages the production of serotonin. I feel good, I feel safe, I feel happy, and maybe even dopamine. I'm fulfilled, I'm calm. So there's that. But there's also this. This is a little bit different.
Yeah.
So this one, I'm putting my tongue to the roof of my mouth. I'm not closing my lips completely so air can come out, and I'll do it,
Yeah.
and then I'll explain it.
Yeah.
Okay, hang on a sec. I just need to. So this is not a releasing breath, and right now I'm feeling that I need to do a releasing breath. So okay, I'm going to do the other one now. So what I'm actually doing is I'm putting my tongue to the roof of my mouth and I'm taking in a breath. And when I let go the breath, I'm not exhaling strong. I'm just allowing it to flow through my sinus. And if air wants to come out of my mouth, I can let that through there as well. And this has the same kind of result, to settle the nervous system, to reset. But it really helps to replenish and receive new life force.
That's a very, very good one to do. Very discreet as well. Like when you were doing it then, it didn't even look like you were doing something, so to speak. Like that's a great one for people to do, especially if they're, stressed out at work or in a social situation that they don't feel so comfortable with. That's a great exercise for people to do.
Yeah. So you want to give it a go?
I'll try to. So I've got to put my tongue on the roof, though.
Notice how you're feeling first.
Mm-hmm.
So you can do it. And then
what was that? Sorry, you cut out again.
So you can do a comparison. Notice how you first.
Yeah.
So all you're doing is letting your tongue gently touch the roof of your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Letting your lips be open a little bit and inhaling, and then just let everything just drop. So yeah, so really fill up what's there, drawing it all up, and then just letting it go.
That's great. I just felt so much more relaxed after doing that, and just energized as well in a way, like more centered, more focused. And it's amazing how something as little as that and quite discreet as that can have such a profound experience.
Yeah.
And make your body feel a whole lot different than it did to begin with.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Those two tips have been absolutely awesome, Sonia.
Thank you.
Really good. And I know that people, when they watch this back, it will be invaluable for them because you've given them some practical advice and things that they can practice and do, and especially when they're completely stressed out, which is great. So let's move on to the next one, the afternoon slump, which is like, as soon as you said to me, oh, I want to talk about the afternoon slump, I'm like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. We need to do this one as well. So tell me, why do people get this whole afternoon slump thing happening?
So people generally say, oh, I feel drained, I feel overwhelmed. Now, yes, it can be that you're lost energy, you feel drained, but it can also be that you've accumulated excess energy through the day. So from the minute that we wake up, we think of someone or we talk to someone, we are already starting to connect with others, and already we're starting to pick up this excess energy. And so by the afternoon, we've been collecting a lot, right?
Yeah, true. Very, very true.
So this I call the tree process or tree exercise. And I use color a lot in my work. So when I take you through this, I will get you to think of colors as well.
Interesting.
Yeah. Also, I want to mention if you Google meridian clock, and it shows like a pie chart of the 12 to 12 dial of, and it shows the vital organs and what times they're being having processes going on. And it also, there are ones that show emotions, what emotion is associated with that time of the day as well. Okay, so we'll go into the meditation.
Let's do it.
So with this one, again, I mean, with anything that you're doing where it's something for yourself and it's a guided process, it is easier if you're comfortable to close your eyes, and in your instance, understand that on things.
Yeah.
So this is something that you can do. You can go to the bathroom and do it. If you're in an office, you can, when you get back to your car, you can just sit in your car and do it. Okay, so just closing your eyes. And it's always good to reconnect to self, just touch your heart, taking a deep breath. Imagine that your body is like a tree. Some people have visual ability. So if it's effortless to visualize what I'm saying, that's great. If you're not finding that you can visualize effortlessly, just trust your thoughts. Just go with the thought intention. It is just as powerful. I myself am not visual. Okay, so your body is the trunk, and your arms are like branches, and your fingers are like twigs, and there are leaves. And those leaves is where you are going to let go of the excess energy that you may have accumulated. This does not clear major life stuff. This is just minor excess stuff. Excuse me. So again, I'm going to give you the steps and then you can go ahead and do the exercise. So as you're thinking about your body as the trunk, also notice that it's connected to the earth, to the ground, and feel the structure and the stability of the earth holding you, supporting you. And notice your branches, and notice if you can feel the life force of the sun coming through, or if that excess energy is kind of shielding you from the sun, because the sun is life force. Coming back to body, your body, we're going to give that excess energy a color. This is the energy you're going to let go of. So what's the first color that comes to you? I'm going to click my fingers and I'll invite you, Yvette, just to say it outwardly. What's the first? Actually, no, don't, because if others want to do this, then it might distract them from their color. So you're thinking about your body and you're thinking about the heaviness, the tension, the stress, the tightness, any irritations, any type of discomfort. It will give you a color now. What color? Now that you have that, in a moment, I'll invite you to take a couple of deep breaths. Deep breaths are nicely done, easily done, in through the nose. Hold as long as you can, and while you're holding, that color is going to find its way up into the leaves. The leaves will become that color, and when you exhale, you're exhaling nice and strong, like you're blowing out candles. The key is nice, strong inhale, hold, nice, strong exhale. I'm going to show you. So you do a couple of those breaths, and then once you're done, just silently or outwardly say, I am clear.
That is amazing, Sonia.
You
I absolutely love it. I did a little bit in my head while I was trying to concentrate on everything going on,
know, you
but
do it.
yeah, I did a little bit, but I had to keep an eye on what's going on here with all my live stuff. It's a little bit, yeah, need to make sure it's all good. But as you were doing that, I was thinking of my fingers and the leaves, like as you were mentioning, like that is such a really cool visual representation of your body being a tree, you know, being the branches and then leaves coming off that is the best visual representation, and letting things go via that sort of way is great. Like, and it's something so simple yet so visual and so meaningful. Why, I know this sounds weird, but why do we use color, or why did you want to use a color as the thing to be released? What does that do?
I find that when we give something a color, then we can relate to it more physically.
Yeah.
I'm not a very tangible physical person, and I found that by giving energy, a color, then I somehow can connect with it more physically. I have the visual of it more physically, even though I don't see it, but I just have a more tangible sense of it. And once that tree, so we kind of need to keep it in sequence. So once you've done the breaths, your branches are clear, and now you can feel that life force of the sun's rays coming in and rejuvenating, recharging. And not only that, you also now need to think of your signature color, the color that represents your signature self, your color. It's a color. When you think of that color, that's me, that's my color. And you think of it in all the cells of your body. And now also you'll find that you have a stronger, more freer connection to the ground and the earth, and that network that we need that connection with, because that's where we connect to people, where we connect to resources, experiences.
Yeah, that's really valuable. And you know, it's so interesting. Color. I'm a big fan of color. I wear color all the time, as you know. And it's great, as you say, that a color that represents you, that you feel connected to. That's, you know, a lovely sort of thought. Color's great, right? It's you know, it's great. It soothes us. It makes us happy. Yeah, it's a really good thing. So
Yeah.
this has been a great exercise for the afternoon slump. It's a good release, because I actually never thought of the fact when you wake up, all your stress and everything starts coming into you, doesn't it, during the day?
Yeah. And if
Yeah.
you don't clear and disconnect from your stresses of the day, or it doesn't even have to be stresses, it's just experiences of the day, then the morning when you wake up, there's an accumulation
Mm.
again from yesterday and the day before. So it's just a reset.
Yeah, I think that's so great. It's excellent. Now, in doing that guided meditation, do you recommend doing it in the afternoon to reset you? That's what we're looking at. But could you do it in the evening before you go to bed to
Yeah.
reset and calm you down from all the stresses that have happened during the day?
Yeah. In the afternoon, in the evening, whenever you feel like it. Like for me as a practitioner, I do
Mm.
it in between clients. And, you know, if you're somebody, if you're someone who is dealing with people constantly, which most of us are,
Of
you know,
course. Yeah.
so if you find that you're feeling a bit frustrated, you're feeling a bit something not right, then just quickly think of that tree. Or you can just, it doesn't even have to be the tree. Once you get the gist of it, you'll find that you'll just use that color and you'll just go, I'm feeling a bit, let me just see if this helps shift something. And just think of the color, take a deep breath and breathe it away.
That's great. Well, Sonia, we are out of time. It's been
Okay.
absolutely amazing. I can't thank you enough. Oh, I can't
Interrupt.
hear you again. You're cutting out again.
Sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt. Didn't really, in terms of the connection, there is another meditation, because that little exercise wasn't really a meditation, but there is an actual meditation where we go into our body and we reconnect in that way. And that's a little teaser.
That's awesome. Now, Sonia, if anybody wants to find you, I know you do some workshops, you do one-on-ones, like similar to what we're doing today. Where can they find you? Where can they search for you? Yeah, tell us where people can find you.
Thank you. So I do deeper healing work, regression, holistic counseling. And yeah, so you can find me on natural therapies pages, just Sonia Macaro. I am on Facebook, on Instagram. I'm not much of a socials person, but
That's fine.
that pathway where you can find me there. And Sunnybrook Health Store website, I'm on the website there as a practitioner as well.
Fantastic. What I'll do is I'll get those links from you and I'll just mention them on our page as well, just under this so people can find you, because I think you've got some amazing tools there for people, like to help people, and I know a lot of people need it at the moment. So amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sonia. And yeah, we'll chat soon.
Okay.
See ya. Bye.
Everyone keep shining.
Bye.